Hi everyone, welcome to this easy card making tutorial. Today I'll show you how you can design a handmade card with a beautiful hand-drawn design without the need for a printer. This is a wonderful project for the holiday season or whenever you want to add a personal touch to your greeting cards. Let's get started. Alright, what we're going to need today is some sort of paper, ideally a really thick type of paper, or cardstock. I only have this paper. This is 200 GSM and I find it a little bit too soft, but if that's all you have, that's fine too. If you do not have cardstock, I actually ran out myself on that. I was looking through my other kind of sketchbooks and saw that the mixed media ones, I have here two different versions, they are really good. They're really thick. I'll just show you. You can see it's really thick, and so that could work really well for a card if you don't have cardstock and you don't want to go out and purchase new ones. So yeah, and here's another one. This is a little bit thinner, so I think I might try the blue one first, and if that doesn't work, you can change it up and try it with this one. But really at the end, the choice is yours. You can also go with something that is off-white. I personally like white. I like high contrast. But yeah, you can go for it with cream or even black if you have coloring mediums that work nicely on that. So the other thing that you will need is some kind of tool to create the fold. You can of course create a fold manually, but if you have ever tried to do that before, you will see that it sometimes can create like crooked edges. Therefore, I recommend that you get yourself something like this. This one has two tools. This one here is a knife. See if you can see that. This one's sharp, and this one here is not sharp. It's just like a wheel, and so what you do is you cinch the paper, and that creates a really nice and smooth straight line and fold. And if you don't have anything like this, I will show you at the end of the video an alternative method, how to do it manually to still get straight lines, but not just simply folding it in half. The next thing that you will need is some sort of pencil, eraser, just your typical drawing utensils. This is more for the design rather than the actual card making. I will be using my favorite tools, which are pencils. I usually use 0.03 for the absolute details and 0.3 for my main lines, and you can vary it of course and have different sizes. And then I like to use markers. This is a mixture of Ohuhu, if that's how you pronounce it, and these ones are the Pro marker brushes. So yeah, I use a mixture of these. If you also want to ship your card, you might also need an envelope. You can use any type of envelope that you have, or even make your own if you want. The only thing that's important, of course, is to make sure that the sizes match. This one here is an A5 size of an envelope, and this one should fit. This is an A4, as you might be able to see here. And if you're not familiar with what I'm saying with A3, A4, 5, all that, these are considered international sizes for paper. I can leave a link in the description so that you understand what I'm talking about. This would be folded in half, so it would fit perfectly into an A5 type of envelope. All right, now let's get onto the folding. That's the most important part. I personally do not want to have these kind of teeth hanging out, so I'm just gonna try it with this trimmer. I usually cut my paper with my guillotine instead of this guy here, but just because we have it handy in here, let's just try that. That looks a bit better. Now, if you want to be good, measure this and then find the center. I'm too lazy for that. So what I usually do is I just kind of find the center this way. Because I know that this is the area that I should be drawing on, we obviously need to fold it the other way around. And so here's how I would find the center. So I would make the corners meet and then just pull very lightly just to create an indentation here at the center over here. So this, and then repeat the same step on the other side. Make sure that the corners meet, they're nice and neat, and then you softly pressure on it, and then here we have the center. And now that I have the center, I can place this in the correct spot. Now you can see it better. Maybe you're not going to be able to see it because it's all white on white, but essentially I'm just following this line and aligning it to this edge here. And what I also sometimes do, because sometimes these machines, they're supposed to be exact, but they're not. Well, remember, this one's the cutter. We don't want to cut. Now we're using the other, the folding. I need to find out what it's called, but essentially you just create a bit of a line with it. I press multiple times just to make sure that it's really there, and you should be able to clearly see it. And now you should be able to fold it very, very easily. And so it didn't cut perfectly. So what you can do is grab your paper and cut it, fold it, so that you have a very clean edge. This is just because sometimes the machines are not 100% straight, or my method to find the center might be a little bit off. So this is another way on how you can fix it. And now we have clean edges. I will do another video comparing these kinds of trimmers versus guillotines. I personally, for cutting, prefer much more the guillotines because you can see how it has created a bit of a fold here. So what I often do is I have this like roller from Leathercraft that I use to roll over, and it just kind of makes them go a little bit away. Let me show you. This is what it looks like. You use it for leather, and I simply roll over it. I hope it's not too loud now. Metal on metal. This table is metal, so. And you can see how the ends then disappear. And it's nice and flush. It also feels nice to the touch. Before I could feel like a pleat. Here we have our card. I already got it dirty. But anyway, and so what's beautiful about this kind of paper actually is that you can draw on both sides. So you can make your design go all around if you want it. And it's still really nice to write on in the center. The next step is to plan your design. Before you start decorating the card, you should plan a little bit of what your design should look like. Ask yourself, who is the card for? Is there a special occasion? Is there a special theme? The answers to these questions will help you come up with a concept for your card. I like to think of the person that I'm sending this to and combine it with either Christmas elements or elements of the theme I'm thinking of, and make it something relevant to them. One of my favorite things to do as I'm drawing, as I'm in that creation process, is thinking about that person because it makes me feel connected to them as I'm designing. Here are some examples of previous cards that I've made. These ones here are my Christmas themed cards. These are also available on my website if you are looking for a Christmas card. To create them, I asked myself, what are iconic Christmas objects? And then selected my favorite ones. I also looked for images with snow, ended up finding a deer that looked so Christmassy. It was perfect to create a card based on it. These Christmas cards now, I created for a Latin American Christmas market, I did. And so also for this one, I thought about what are the traditions, what are iconic things for those cultures, but also combined with the theme of Christmas. These cards are also available on my website if you want to check them out. I also have made tons of cards for my friends. Here are a few examples. Here's one where friends of mine were expecting a baby. And this other one, my friend just had gotten a promotion or something like that. And then this other one is for my pet-loving friends. Another question you can ask yourself is, are they a fan of something particular? For example, my postman, I made him these cards because he's a big fan of American football, particularly of the Washington Commanders. This card here also shows you that your design doesn't have to be square. You can make it in the shape that you like, although I have to admit it was a bit of a pain to cut it. So consider the effort that you want to also put into the card. You can draw inspiration from holiday themed images or simply use your creativity. Think about the colors, patterns, shapes, and the message that you want to include. Colors, the typical and most traditional colors for Christmas are red, green, gold, and silver. You can also create like a blue with white, so like a snow, icy kind of feel to it. Now that you have the concept and person in mind, let your creativity shine. We will draw the design on the front of the card though, because this is your card, you can draw it wherever you want and you can choose any spot you like. I will be drawing a heart-shaped Lebkuchen. This is a very traditional and typical icon that you will find in any Christmas markets in Germany. My drawing process is always the same. First thing I do, I sketch faint lines with a pencil so I can easily erase them later. The next step is to use fine liners to create the outlines. I typically use black fine liners. That's just my own preference, but you can of course use matching colors. Once you're happy with your lines, then it's time to erase the pencil lines. Next, you want to color your main shapes. Add some shadows. Add some highlights with either an acrylic marker or a gel pen. I typically like to use white, but sometimes neon orange, neon yellow. These are also good colors to add little sparks, little stars, little highlights here and there. With the design finished, the most important thing is to write a heartfelt message on the inside. All that's left to do then is to place it inside of the envelope and post it. As a bonus, as I mentioned, if you don't have a trimmer with a scoring blade, here are 2 alternative options to create a crisp and straight fold. If you try to create it yourself this way, you will see that it will fold a bit unevenly and a bit jaggedly. So we will start doing the exact same thing. We will find our center by putting together the corners and then gently pulling at the other end to make a little mark, and then repeat that on the other side. Same thing, fold, put the corners together and gently pull like this and create this. What you would need to at least have is 1 to 2 rulers. Ideally 1 ruler that is larger than the card so that you can put it from end to end. So what I like to do now is to start lifting the paper gently. So pulling it up, and try to do that as close as you can to the ruler. And make sure that you continuously press on the ruler so that it doesn't move on you, so that your line stays nice and steady. If you have nails, use your nails to get into that end there. The reason why I have here a bone folder is this also can be helpful to use. I'm using the soft side for now. And so I keep pressing and kind of going around the ruler. Another way of doing it as well is similar to what we did with the trimmer. Grab your ruler, a sharp end of something, but that isn't sharp, but that cannot cut the paper. Pull it as if it was like a pencil. And with that you create that indentation as well. And it should make it a lot easier to then fold. So those are essentially 2 ways of doing it. And then you can also use the bone folder to fold on the top and make sure you have a really nice and clean line. And there you have it. Of course, if you find this too cumbersome, just literally fold it in half and that's it. That's all you have to do. But this just helps make it look a lot neater and nicer. And so what I'll do now is just trim it, and then it's ready to use. You can also use a roller if you have one of these on the fold. And there you have it, a beautiful hand-drawn greeting card made without a printer. Handmade cards really are a thoughtful and personal way to spread joy to your loved ones. Remember to have fun with your designs, be creative, and don't miss the chance to let someone know that you're thinking of them with a personalized card. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've truly enjoyed this tutorial. If you've enjoyed this tutorial, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel for more creative projects. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!